The alert chimes softly across the bridge of the Galactic Alliance flagship *Harmony*. Commander Trell's 4 eyes blinked in sequence as he studied the holographic display. "Unknown vessel detected at the edge of Sector 7, reported Officer Len, his scaled fingers dancing across the control panel. "Primitive design. No known signature in our database." Trell nodded, his pale blue skin reflecting the soft lights of the command center. The Alliance had encountered many new species over the centuries, and first contact protocols were well established. As the most advanced collection of civilizations in the known galaxy, they had a duty to welcome emerging spacefaring races with peace and wisdom. "Set course to intercept. Activate translation systems and prepare the welcome message," Trell ordered. The massive Alliance vessel adjusted its path smoothly, approaching the small, oddly designed craft that seemed to drift rather than fly through space. The unknown ship was angular and utilitarian, built for function rather than beauty. Crude thrusters and primitive scanning equipment dotted its hull. The species that built it was clearly just beginning to explore beyond their home system. "We are receiving a transmission," Len announced. "Audio and visual." "On screen," Trell commanded. The main display flickered, revealing a creature Trell had never seen before. It had only 2 eyes, pinkish-tan skin, and fur on top of its head. It wore some kind of uniform with unfamiliar symbols. "Greetings," the creature said, its mouth forming sounds that the Alliance translators quickly processed. "This is Captain Tom Walker of the Earth exploration vessel *Pioneer*. We come in peace from the planet Earth." Trell stepped forward. "Welcome, Captain Walker of Earth. I am Commander Trell of the Galactic Alliance. We are pleased to make your acquaintance and offer friendship." The human's face changed, forming what their translator identified as an expression of pleasure. "Thank you, Commander. We've been searching for other intelligent life for generations. This is a historic moment for our people." The conversation continued, with both sides exchanging basic information. The humans were indeed new to interstellar travel, having only recently developed the technology to venture beyond their solar system. They were curious, eager to learn, and surprisingly adaptable for such a young species. Trell was about to invite Captain Walker to dock with the *Harmony* when the ship's alarms blared. "Commander, 3 Vex warships decloaking at Mark 7, shouted the sensor officer, her tentacles writhing in alarm. Trell's hearts pounded. The Vex were aggressive expansionists who had been pressing against Alliance borders for decades, destroying any weaker species they encountered. "Shields up. Warn the Earth vessel," Trell commanded. Before they could act, green energy beams lanced out from the nearest Vex ship, striking both the Alliance vessel and the small human craft. The *Harmony* shuddered, but its advanced shields held. The Earth ship, with its primitive defenses, was not so fortunate. "The human vessel is taking heavy damage," Len reported, voice tight with concern. "Move to protect them," Trell ordered. "Open a channel." A blinding flash filled the view screen as the human ship exploded, debris scattering across space. "No," Trell slammed his fist on the console. "Another species lost to Vex aggression." The *Harmony* returned fire, forcing the Vex ships to retreat, but the damage was done. In the confusion and weapons fire, their communications array was damaged, cutting off any signal to Earth. The Alliance had no way to explain what had happened or that they had tried to help. Back on Earth, their long-range sensors had captured only fragments of what occurred. Their ship destroyed, weapons fire from multiple alien vessels. The conclusion seemed obvious. Their first contact had been met with hostility. As Trell stared at the drifting remains of the human ship, he felt a deep sadness. A promising first contact destroyed by violence. The humans would likely never know the truth of what happened here today. He could not know that on Earth, military leaders were already viewing the distorted footage, planning a response to what they saw as an unprovoked attack. He could not know that humanity, when threatened, would not cower or forget. They would return. And next time, they would not come in peace. 20 Earth years passed in grim determination. The loss of the Pioneer and its crew had united humanity in a way nothing else could. Old enemies became allies, borders became meaningless, and resources once spent on fighting each other were channeled into a single purpose: defense against the stars. Captain Alex Reed stood on the observation deck of Earth's orbital shipyard, watching as workers in spacesuits applied the final armor plates to the EDF Retribution. The massive warship stretched nearly a kilometer from bow to stern, its dark hull bristling with weapon systems and sensor arrays. "Beautiful, isn't she?" Admiral Wilson stepped beside Reed, his weathered face reflecting in the reinforced glass. "The most powerful ship humans have ever built," Reed nodded. "But will it be enough?" The Admiral's expression hardened. "It won't be alone. We have 7 more just like her almost ready, and 30 smaller vessels already on patrol. 20 years of preparation, Captain. 20 years learning from the alien technology we recovered from the Pioneer debris." Reed had been just a child when the attack happened, but he remembered the global broadcasts, the fear, and then the resolve that followed. Humanity had glimpsed the stars and found them hostile, but instead of cowering, they had prepared. "Your crew is ready," the Admiral continued. "The best Earth has to offer. Many of them have family who were on the Pioneer *. Reed nodded. His own uncle had been an engineer on that ill-fated mission. "We won't fail them." Across the solar system, similar scenes played out as Earth's defense fleet made final preparations. New weapons based on reverse-engineered alien technology were loaded. Crews trained in combat simulations based on the limited data from the Pioneer incident. Military strategists studied every Earth war ever fought, adapting ancient tactics for space combat. 3 days later, Reed stood on the bridge of the Retribution as it cleared Earth's gravitational well. 6 sister ships flanked them, their engines glowing bright against the darkness of space. "All systems nominal, Captain," reported First Officer Bell from her station. "Fleet is in formation and awaiting your command." Reed studied the tactical display. Each ship was a marvel of human ingenuity, built not with the elegant efficiency of alien design, but with humanity's characteristic redundancy and versatility. Where the alien ships they had studied favored specialization, human vessels were adaptable, with backup systems for their backup systems. "Set course for the coordinates where we lost the Pioneer *, Reed ordered. "Maximum sustainable speed." The fleet accelerated, pushing deeper into space than humans had ever ventured before. The crew was tense but ready, trained to expect anything. "Captain," Communications Officer Park called out, "I'm picking up unusual transmissions. Definitely not human in origin." Reed moved to Park's station. "Can you decode any of it?" "Working on it, sir. Our computers are comparing it to the fragments we received 20 years ago. There are similarities, but also differences. It seems to be distress signals." Reed's eyes narrowed. "From who?" "The same aliens who attacked us." "Unknown, sir, but there's a lot of it, spread across multiple frequencies. Whatever's happening out there, it's big." The tactical officer spoke up next. "Captain, long-range scans are detecting energy signatures consistent with large-scale space combat. Multiple ship classes, some matching the profile of those that attacked the Pioneer *. Reed returned to the command chair, mind racing. They had expected to find the alien aggressors, perhaps even their homeworld. Instead, it seemed they were flying into an ongoing war. "Maintain course but increase alert status. All weapons systems on standby," he ordered. "It seems the galaxy is more complicated than we thought." The Retribution and its sister ships pushed onward, their hulls emblazoned with Earth's new unified flag. The humans had come prepared for revenge, but they might find something else entirely. Whatever awaited them, the galaxy would soon learn that humanity was not to be trifled with. In the darkness ahead, the Alliance Vex War raged on, neither side aware that a new player was about to enter the game. Lieutenant Mira's antennae twitched nervously as she monitored the sensor array at Alliance Outpost Delta 7. The small border station had been on high alert for months as Vex forces pushed deeper into Alliance territory. Her species was naturally empathic, which made her an excellent sensor officer. She could feel intent and emotion at distances technology couldn't match. And right now, something felt very strange. "Commander Jax," she called out, "I'm detecting an unusual formation approaching from Sector 19B. The station commander, a stocky four-armed veteran, moved to her station. "Vex." "I don't think so." Mira hesitated. "The energy signatures don't match Vex patterns. And there's something else, a feeling. It's not like anything I've sensed before. Determination, purpose, but no malice or hunger like the Vex." Jax studied the readings. 8 vessels, heavily armed. Unfamiliar design. He pressed the station-wide alert. "All personnel to battle stations. Notify Alliance Command immediately." Across Alliance space, the alert spread quickly. The war with the Vex had made everyone jumpy, and unknown vessels were assumed hostile until proven otherwise. On the Alliance flagship Defender Commander Trell, now promoted to Fleet Admiral, reviewed the incoming data. The last 20 years had been hard on him. The war with the Vex had cost the Alliance dozens of worlds and millions of lives. Every time a new species was lost, he remembered the humans, the first casualties of this long conflict. "These can't be Vex," his tactical officer stated. "Their formation is too disciplined, and they're making no attempt to hide their approach." "Put it on screen," Trell ordered. The main display showed 8 ships, 7 smaller vessels arrayed around one massive warship. Their design was unlike anything in Alliance records. Angular, with obvious weapon emplacements, and thick armor plating. None of the elegant curves or biological-inspired designs used by Alliance or Vex engineers. "They're following a direct course to Delta 7, the navigation officer reported. "At current speed, they'll arrive in 6 hours. Trell felt a chill. "Deploy the fleet. I want 3 battle groups there before these unknowns arrive." As Alliance forces scrambled, defense computers automatically flagged the approaching vessels. "Wo Ar Ning." Enemy warship DTCTE flashed on screens across Alliance territory. By the time the human fleet approached Delta 7, they found a welcoming committee of 30 Alliance ships, formed in defensive positions. On the bridge of the Retribution Captain Reed studied the alien vessels. "They're not the same design as the ships that attacked the Pioneer he noted. "Similar technology base, but different configuration." "Captain," First Officer Bell spoke up, "we're being hailed." Reed nodded. "On screen. Let's see who we're dealing with." The view screen activated, showing a blue-skinned alien with 4 eyes. Something about its uniform markings suggested high rank. "Unknown vessels." The alien spoke, its words translated by computers using data salvaged from the Pioneer encounter. "This is Fleet Admiral Trell of the Galactic Alliance. You have entered Alliance space heavily armed. State your identity and intentions immediately." Reed's eyes narrowed at the name. The intelligence reports had mentioned a Commander Trell from the Pioneer logs. "This is Captain Alex Reed of the Earth Defense Force vessel Retribution. We have come seeking those responsible for the unprovoked attack on our exploration ship Pioneer 20 Earth years ago." A look of shock crossed Trell's alien features. "Humans. From Earth? You survived." Before Reed could respond, alarms blared across both fleets. From behind a nearby moon, 3 Vex battle cruisers decloaked, weapons charging. "Vex attack force," someone shouted on the Alliance bridge. Reed didn't recognize the name, but he recognized a threat. "All ships, defensive formation beta. Weapons free. Protect our flanks." As the human ships swung into action with unexpected speed and coordination, The Alliance officers watched in shock. The unknown enemy they had been preparing to confront was now moving to engage their common foe. Trell stared at the screen, realization dawning. "Hold fire on the human vessels. Target the Vex only," he ordered. "And get me a secure channel to Captain Reed. We have 20 years of misunderstanding to clear up, if we survive the next 20 minutes." The battle erupted with blinding intensity. The 3 Vex battlecruisers fired their primary weapons, green energy beams slicing through space toward both human and Alliance vessels. But the human ships moved with unexpected agility, their maneuvers unlike anything the Alliance had seen before. Evasive pattern delta. Reed ordered as the Retribution banked hard, narrowly avoiding a direct hit. "Target their lead ship's weapon arrays. Fire when ready." The Retribution unleashed a barrage of missiles, followed by high-energy particle beams. The combination overwhelmed the Vex shields in a way Alliance weapons rarely managed. On the Alliance flagship, Admiral Trell watched in amazement. How are they doing that? The Vex shields should be absorbing those impacts. His weapons officer studied the data. They're using a staggered attack pattern. The missiles are modulating frequencies, creating small fluctuations in the Vex shields. Then their energy weapons exploit those fluctuations. It's ingenious. "Get our ships to coordinate with their attack pattern," Trell ordered. "And I still need that secure channel to the human captain." The battle raged for 20 minutes. 2 Alliance cruisers suffered heavy damage, but 1 Vex ship was crippled, and the others were showing signs of weakness. Then, just as suddenly as they had appeared, the remaining Vex vessels jumped away, disappearing into faster-than-light travel. In the aftermath, tense communications were established between the human and Alliance fleets. Captain Reed agreed to a face-to-face meeting, but insisted it take place on the Retribution with a small security detail from each side. When Trell and 3 Alliance officers boarded the human vessel, they were struck by its interior. Where Alliance ships were designed for comfort and efficiency, every inch of the human warship seemed built for function and redundancy. Exposed conduits ran along reinforced walls, and every corridor had weapon lockers and emergency equipment. Reed met them in a conference room adjacent to the bridge. The human captain stood tall, eyes hard as he faced the alien he had spent decades believing was responsible for the Pioneer tragedy. 20 years ago, Reed began without preamble. "Your ships destroyed an unarmed Earth vessel attempting peaceful contact." Trell's 4 eyes blinked in sequence, a sign of distress in his species. "No, Captain. That is not what happened. The Vex attacked both our vessels. We attempted to defend your ship, but our efforts failed. We believed all humans had perished." "Convenient story," First Officer Bell said coldly. Trell gestured to a data device one of his officers carried. "We have sensor logs, communication records. The Vex have been our enemy for generations. They destroy emerging species to prevent future competition. We try to protect them." Reed's expression remained skeptical, but he nodded to his security chief. "Verify their data. Compare it to what we recovered from the Pioneer debris." Tense minutes passed as Alliance and human technicians worked together. Finally, the security chief looked up. "It matches, sir. Their story aligns with the fragmented data we recovered. We only saw part of what happened." The revelation hit Reed like a physical blow. For 20 years, humanity had prepared for war against the wrong enemy. "If this is true," he said slowly, "then we've been planning to fight the very people who try to save us. And now you have arrived, heavily armed, at a time when we are losing the war against our common enemy," Trell added. "The Vex have pushed us back on all fronts. They control 30% more territory than when we encountered your Pioneer. Reed and Bell exchanged glances. The human fleet had been built for revenge. But the true enemy was still out there, and apparently winning. "The way you fought today," one of the Alliance officers said, "we've never seen tactics like that." The Vex didn't expect them either. Reed considered this. Humanity had prepared for a war based on limited information, studying scraps of alien technology and adapting Earth's long history of combat to space warfare. They had developed approaches the Alliance had never considered. Perhaps, Reed said carefully, there is room for cooperation. We came seeking justice for our dead. It seems the real killers are still at large. Trell extended a four-fingered hand in what he hoped was a recognizable gesture of agreement. The Alliance would welcome human assistance, and perhaps together, we can ensure the Vex pay for all our losses. Reed hesitated for only a moment before grasping the alien's hand. An alliance born from misunderstanding, forged in fire. The Alliance Military Council chamber fell silent as Captain Reed finished his presentation. The holographic display in the center of the room showed human battle tactics that had most of the alien commanders shifting uncomfortably in their seats. "You deliberately show weakness to draw the enemy in?" asked Council Member Grex, his reptilian scales flushing with color. "Then attack from hiding. This seems dishonorable." Reed exchanged glances with First Officer Bell before responding. "With respect, Council Member, humans don't believe honor has any place in warfare. The goal is to win while minimizing your own losses. Earth history is full of battles where the smaller force defeated a larger one through deception and unconventional tactics." An uncomfortable murmur spread through the chamber. The Alliance species had evolved toward cooperation over competition. Their approach to warfare was direct, overwhelming force applied to key targets. The concept of feigning retreat or setting traps went against their instincts. Admiral Trell, who had spent the most time with the humans, raised his hand for silence. "Council members, I understand your discomfort. But consider this. The Vex have pushed us back for decades using their technological advantage. The humans bring something the Vex cannot easily counter: unpredictability. In the 3 weeks since the humans had arrived, joint operations had already shown promising results. A human tactic called wolf pack hunting, where smaller ships coordinated to take down larger vessels, had been particularly effective against Vex cruisers. There's another matter," said Council Member Zuri, her luminescent tendrils rippling with emotion. "Our medical team's report on human physiology." The hologram shifted to show detailed scans of human bodies. Alliance medical officers had been stunned by their findings. The chief medical officer stepped forward. "Humans have several unique characteristics. Their endurance exceeds any Alliance species. They can function despite severe sleep deprivation. They can continue fighting with injuries that would incapacitate most of us. And most concerning, they seem to respond to danger with increased performance rather than self-preservation." Reed suppressed a smile. The Alliance species found human stress responses almost incomprehensible. The concept of adrenaline, a chemical that made humans stronger and faster when in danger, seemed like a biological weapon to them. "And there's the matter of their pain tolerance," the medical officer continued. "During our joint training exercises, we've observed humans sustaining injuries that should be debilitating, yet they continue functioning at near optimal levels." The council chambers erupted in quiet discussion. Reed knew what they were thinking. These strange newcomers were unsettling. Humans approached problems differently, fought differently, even responded to damage differently. Trell raised his voice again. "Council members, I propose we integrate human tactical advisors throughout our fleet. Their perspective could be the advantage we need." Before the council could vote, alarms blared throughout the station. The tactical display shifted to show a massive Vex fleet approaching a key Alliance world. 37 Vex warships, reported the Alliance tactical officer. "They're targeting the Lyra colony. 8 million civilians, minimal defenses." Trell turned to Reed. "Your ships are the closest. Can you intercept?" Reed studied the display, his mind racing through options. "Not alone. But if we can coordinate with the Alliance forces in the adjacent sectors and use the asteroid field here as cover." He quickly outlined a plan that made several Alliance commanders blink in confusion. It involved splitting forces, using the colony's moon for a gravity slingshot maneuver, and what Reed called fishing, baiting the Vex into a carefully prepared trap. This is highly unorthodox, Grex objected. It's also our best chance to save those 8 million civilians, Trell countered. He turned to Reed. How quickly can your ships deploy? Immediately. The Retribution was built for rapid response. Trell nodded decisively. Then go. Save Lyra. Show the Vex and the Alliance what humans can do. As Reed hurried from the chamber, he heard the council erupting into debate behind him. The Alliance was still uneasy with their new allies and their strange ways of fighting. But they would learn. And more importantly, so would the Vex. On the way to his ship, Reed's communicator beeped with a message from Trell. The Council approved emergency tactical authority. Do what you must. Reed smiled grimly. The Vex were about to learn why, throughout human history, it was always a mistake to awaken a sleeping giant. The space around the Lyra colony blazed with weapons fire. Captain Reed stood on the bridge of the Retribution calmly issuing orders as his ship shuddered under enemy fire. The battle was not going as planned. The Vex had anticipated their trap, bringing twice the number of ships intelligence had predicted. Now the Human Alliance Joint Fleet was fighting desperately to protect the colony's evacuation ships as they fled the system. Shield status. Reed called out. 30% and falling. The tactical officer reported. 2 more direct hits and we're done for. First Officer Bell pointed to a tactical display. The evacuation is only 60% complete. They need another 20 minutes. Reed studied the battle map. The Alliance ships were fighting bravely but predictably. They held formation, focusing their fire on the largest Vex vessels, while smaller Vex ships slipped past to target the civilian transports. New plan, Reed announced. All human vessels implement Thermopylae Protocol. Alliance commanders on the shared channel voiced confusion, but the human ships immediately began repositioning. The Retribution and its sister ships formed a tight line directly between the Vex fleet and the evacuation route. What are you doing? Admiral Trell's voice came through the comm. That formation leaves you nowhere to retreat. That's the point, Reed replied calmly. We're not retreating. Have your ships focus on protecting the civilians. We'll hold the line here. On the Alliance command ship, Trell watched in horror as the human vessels deliberately placed themselves in the most dangerous position. Their ships were taking devastating hits that should have sent any reasonable commander into retreat. But the humans stood firm, returning fire with everything they had. They can't possibly survive this, Grex said, his voice hushed. No, Trell agreed. They know that. They're sacrificing themselves to save the civilians. The concept was shocking to the Alliance. Their tactical doctrine prioritized preserving military assets over taking extreme risks, even for civilian protection. On the Retribution systems were failing throughout the ship. The hull breach on Deck 4 had killed 20 crew members. The weapons systems were operating at 40% capacity. But Reed's expression never changed. The Vex flagship is moving to finish us off, Bell reported, blood streaming from a cut on her forehead. They're charging their main weapon. Reed nodded. Perfect. Just like humans, they can't resist targeting the biggest threat. Status of Plan Odysseus. The communications officer looked up from her badly damaged console. The modified shuttles are in position, Captain. Execute. While the Vex had been focused on the human warships, 20 small, unmanned shuttles had been quietly moving into position around their fleet. Now they activated, their engines pushing them directly into the paths of key Vex vessels. The shuttles didn't carry conventional weapons. Instead, each contained a modified engine core rigged to detonate in a specific frequency pattern that the humans had discovered could disrupt Vex shield harmonics. The explosions weren't particularly large, but they created energy waves that cascaded through the Vex formation. Shields flickered and failed across dozens of ships. Now, Reed shouted into the fleet-wide channel. All vessels, fire everything you have. Human and Alliance ships unleashed a coordinated barrage unlike anything seen before in the war. Vex ships, suddenly vulnerable without their shields, began exploding in rapid succession. The Vex flagship, its main weapon still charging, took multiple direct hits to critical systems. Its power core destabilized, creating a chain reaction that tore the massive vessel apart from within. Seeing their flagship destroyed, the remaining Vex ships broke formation and retreated, jumping to faster-than-light speed in all directions. A ragged cheer went up across the human Alliance fleet. The colony was saved. The evacuation ships reported safe passage out of the system. But the victory had come at a terrible price. 3 human ships were completely destroyed. The others, including the Retribution had sustained catastrophic damage. On the bridge, Reed sat heavily in his command chair, finally allowing himself to feel the pain of his own injuries. "Casualty report," he ordered quietly. The numbers were grim. Nearly 40% of the human forces had been lost, but they had saved over 8 million Alliance civilians. As emergency teams worked to stabilize the Retribution's failing systems, a message came through from Admiral Trell. "The Alliance has never witnessed such sacrifice. Today, you have shown us what it truly means to be warriors and allies." Reed closed his eyes for a moment. This wasn't about glory or recognition. It was about doing what humans had always done when facing impossible odds. Finding a way to survive, no matter the cost. And today, they had done more than survive. They had changed the course of the war. The combined fleet of Alliance and human ships dropped out of faster-than-light travel near the Vex homeworld. At the center of the formation, the Retribution led the way, its hull still bearing the scars of the battle at Lyra Colony 3 months earlier. On the bridge, Captain Reed studied the tactical display showing their target. A massive ringed planet surrounded by orbital defense platforms. Intelligence from captured Vex vessels had finally revealed the location of the Vex command structure, the nerve center that coordinated their expansion efforts across the galaxy. "All ships report ready, Captain," First Officer Bell announced. "The Alliance vessels are taking positions as planned." Reed nodded. In the months since the battle at Lyra, the Alliance had embraced human military thinking with remarkable speed. The desperate victory had proven that unconventional tactics could succeed where traditional approaches had failed. Now, human officers served as tactical advisors throughout the Alliance fleet. "Begin Phase 1, Reed ordered. "Let's see if our diversion works." A small group of ships broke from the main fleet, approaching the planet from the far side. They would draw Vex attention and defenses while the main assault force prepared for the real attack. Admiral Trell's face appeared on the communication screen. "The Council sends their wishes for success, Captain Reed. The future of the Alliance rests on this mission." "We won't fail," Reed replied simply. He had spent countless hours planning this attack, studying every detail of Vex defensive patterns and weaknesses. This would be humanity's greatest contribution to their new allies, the decisive strike that could end the war. The diversion worked better than expected. Vex defenses shifted, concentrating firepower on the decoy force, which executed a series of unpredictable evasive maneuvers that kept Vex targeting systems struggling to lock on. "Phase 2, Reed commanded. "All attack groups advance." The main fleet surged forward, led by human and Alliance heavy cruisers. They smashed through the weakened defensive line, targeting key orbital platforms with coordinated precision strikes. But the Vex were not easily defeated. Their central command ship, a massive structure twice the size of any vessel in the Allied fleet, launched waves of fighters and activated a planetary shield grid that would prevent any direct attacks on the surface. "They're adapting to our tactics faster than expected," Bell reported, her voice tense. "Shield grid is blocking our planned bombardment of the command centers." Reed studied the data flowing across his screens. The Vex command ship was the key. If they could destroy it, the shield grid and the entire Vex defense network would collapse. But it was too heavily protected for a direct assault. He made his decision quickly. Prepare the retribution for Plan Leonidas. A hush fell over the bridge. Plan Leonidas was the option of last resort, a suicide run. The retribution would overload its engines and ram the Vex command ship, creating an explosion powerful enough to destroy both vessels. Sir, Bell objected, we can find another way. Reed shook his head. The shields are too strong for our weapons. This is the only way to break through. He opened the ship-wide communication channel. All non-essential personnel to evacuation shuttles. This is not a drill. As crew members rushed to the escape pods, Reed contacted Admiral Trell. The retribution will create an opening in their defenses. When their command ship goes down, hit the surface with everything you have. Trell's 4 eyes blinked in distress. Captain Reed, this is not necessary. It is, Reed interrupted. Sometimes the price of victory is high. Humanity understands this. He smiled slightly. Just make sure they remember us. The evacuation took 7 minutes. First Officer Bell refused to leave, as did a skeleton crew of volunteers. The retribution now stripped to its essential systems, accelerated toward the Vex command ship. All power to forward shields and engines, Reed ordered. Communications, transmit our engine harmonics data to the Alliance fleet. They'll need it to adapt their weapons for future encounters. The retribution plunged through layers of Vex defenses, taking devastating hits but maintaining its course. On the Vex command ship, frantic efforts to stop the human vessel failed as it gained speed, its engines glowing white-hot with power far beyond safe operational limits. Impact in 30 seconds, Bell reported calmly. Reed looked around at the brave crew who had chosen to remain. It has been my honor to serve with you all. The retribution slammed into the Vex command ship at tremendous speed. For a moment, both vessels seemed to merge into a single point of light. Then the human ship's overloaded engines detonated in a cascading reaction that tore through the Vex vessel's core. The explosion rippled outward, disabling the planetary shield grid and sending electromagnetic pulses through the Vex command network. Across the battlefield, Vex ships suddenly lost coordination, their movements becoming erratic and confused. The Alliance fleet, following Reed's final instructions, launched an all-out assault on the now vulnerable planet below. Within hours, the war that had raged for decades was effectively over. 1 month later, on Alliance worlds throughout the galaxy, new warning systems were installed. But unlike before, the message "warning" human ships detected no longer triggered fear. Instead, it brought relief and celebration. Humanity had found its place among the stars, not as conquerors, but as protectors. The species that had come seeking revenge had instead found purpose as the defenders of galactic peace. And on countless Alliance worlds, a new phrase entered common usage: as brave as a human.